Big round of applause, man. I play this man's music in my home when I want to feel great, have the beat.
Right.
It's kind of music that motivates me to actually clean up.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Next to godliness, and I feel dirty if the house ain't clean when I'm listening to my brother. I don't know how many Grammys it is. Is it 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it more than that?
No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
no,
Okay.
no.
You said it like I tried to shortchange you, right?
No,
Like
it just it just feels awkward. You know what I'm saying? Trying to jump in on, somebody saying stuff about you. It's like you don't ever want to sound like that. You don't ever sound like gross.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Whatever,
Got
man.
my brother.
Whatever, man.
We got
No,
Kirk
man.
Franklin blushing right now,
What's
y'all.
up,
Look
man?
at my brother, man.
I'm a
Look
black
at
man.
with
I
us.
don't blush. I'm a black man. I don't blush.
Black men blush, man. Don't put that on us, brother.
No, man. I got this melanin, man. I got this melanin covering up my blushing, man.
Hey, man, at what stage in your life did you say, man, I thank God that I got this melanin, that I'm this black man, that I am who I am?
Yeah,
At
yeah,
what
yeah.
age did you embrace that? Like,
Well, man, what is very interesting. First of all, man, it's an honor always being back here with the family, man. Thank y'all for just even opening up the door to me.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, man, I'm very humble, very grateful, and it's honor mean you king, and I heard you speaking into that young man's life. So, man, salute to what you're doing.
Wow.
I think that as I became aware,
Yeah.
I think that there is an age that you're not tapped into a lot of the dichotomies around you. You know something's off. You know that there's a challenge. You know that there's a uniqueness about you and the people. But because the marginalized communities are your norm, you're not understanding that it is not what is fair. And then when you become of age and when you become enlightened, then you have that illumination that there is a distinct call. There's a distinct anointing, a distinct space that people of color have on the planet. And then when you also begin to do the academic research to understand why you believe what you believe in and the origin of who the people were that believed before you and the architects and authors of those that illustrated and they were part of the narrative of the history of who you are and who humans are. And you realize that you are part of that. You are part of that space. Then it gives you a deeper respect and appreciation and celebration of the fact that you are black and that you are a black man.
There you go. My man Kirk Franklin is here. See how he walked into the building, HB?
Love it.
Come on, man. Kirk, say hi to David Weber. That's who you sit next to. This man is amazing.
Celebrate you, King. Celebrate.
You know,
Licensed mental health therapist.
that's he comes every month on his own. He wants to help the people, and he just constantly, he's like you. He's a giver, and I want to say congratulations to you. I want to play a little bit of the Rain on Me song with Glorilla. Come on, last time I saw Kirk, I went to the concert in D.C., man, and one day I'm going to tell you what that day did for me and my daughter.
Wow.
We didn't really get to go into, but I'm going to tell you one day when time, we have time to sit down and sip on some high-octane water or something.
Some Kool-Aid.
Yeah, some Kool-Aid, but one of the things you said to me, and I don't even know if you recall because I know you speak freely. You said, "Man, man, what do you? It's a packed house. It's sold out."
Okay.
And Kirk is interested, in my opinion, of what do you think? What do you think of the crowd? But what do you think of the crowd? Am I reaching enough of us? Am I tapping into the corners? Am I tapping in the alleys and the blocks as well as tapping the choirs?
Facts.
I remember you saying this to me.
Facts.
And so when I heard that from you, it gave me just even more layer of respect for who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
For a number of reasons. And so when this song with Glorilla happened and you told me, man, I just like to reach to the people who could reach to the people that need to be reached. And you guys won this BET award. I want to say congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Glorilla for being open enough to tap into her faith. And, a lot of artists stay away from that. They don't want to talk about God. They don't want to talk about their faith. And so I want to say thank you for doing that, first and foremost, because you became a bridge of genre. You bended genres right? But then there was also those in the gospel genre who didn't respond so favorably because they felt like it was taking light away from some of the stuff that they had done already. When I talked to John Keith about it, the artist, him and Miles Minnick are on the rise right now. He thought it was amazing. You know, he's a gospel artist. He said, what are we talking about here? I think it's amazing. You don't do it for applause, right? Does that kind of feedback matter to you? Or what would you say to those who are from the genre, hey, Kirk, man, what about us? We're not getting our spotlight.
Yeah.
You know, I get it.
Yeah. I would say very much that I totally understand the dichotomy. I can totally understand that in our genre there's not a lot of doors, there's not a lot of opportunities, and when it seems like that there is this space that you're always having to be put back, you know, is because a year before that the artist Tim's won for a Blessed Gospel Artist.
Right.
There was a year that I was nominated a few years back and Snoop won, and these are, you know, and these people, and celebrate them and congratulate them. I just know that it's very important that when opportunities are there to bring light onto the bigger picture, which is some of the greatest men and women that have ever been part of storytelling and art and the story of faith are gospel artists. And I wish that there was more opportunities where people can be able to see them, hear them, and I can totally understand their frustration when they feel like that the opportunities that they have worked hard for, they just don't get the chance. And I totally understand that, and I weep in that space, and I can understand the frustration, even if it sometimes may come across where it's coming across at me. I still receive it. Yeah. It's because I want to do my part to make sure that the light is shined back on the community, and I really wish I could do more. Like, I've tried to do my own festival to try to showcase artists. I had a label once, but that was trying to sign artists. When I've hosted shows like the Estelle Awards, there were things that I requested to be able to showcase new artists. So I've tried. I want to try harder. There's some things that I want to keep trying to do. Is because to whom much is given, much is required, and I really want to be a conduit to be able to show the world that gospel music is so much bigger than Kirk Franklin. Yeah. That I'm only a small part of this huge talented community that needs to be highlighted, needs to be showcased, needs to get the credit for being part of a community that the origin of Black American music started in soul, blues, and gospel.
Yeah, I love that response too, because Kirk's still working. I wonder with David Weber here, when I look at you, Kirk Franklin, you know, for years you've always had to answer questions. Yeah. You know, they put it all on your back, brother. I see you do it, and you do it so gracefully. But it's not an easy position. He's human. Yeah. Right? He's a man like any other leader or anybody in history, the whole nine. He's human. As a therapist, have you dealt with people who are in positions like a Kirk Franklin, who has millions of people that count on him, that lean on him, but he also has millions that might be naysayers that come at him? What kind of conversations do you have with a person like Kirk Franklin, who's also, he's a minister, you know.
Not only as a therapist, but watching my brother, you know, at University of Michigan with the Fab Five, watching that, watching him in the NBA, watching him go to the Hall of Fame, watching the people and naysayers say bad stuff about him, negative things about him. My personal view, that's their problem. You can't get mad at his anointing. If he gets 20 Grammys or everyone is coming and giving him his due that he's earned, and y'all have an issue with that, that's your problem. It ain't his problem. So I hear the compassion. I hear your heart. You way more compassionate than me because that's their problem. It ain't your problem. You do what you do. God gave you a gift. That gift is producing fruit. And as a result of that fruit, you are getting awards. That ain't your fault. That's their fault. Meaning it's their fault for having an issue with the awards coming to you, or the awards going to Snoop, or the awards going to this person. If we're supposed to worship the Lord in spirit and in truth, and so if I'm to worship him in spirit and in truth, and the reason that I'm doing it comes from a good place, then if the award comes, thank you, Lord. If the award don't come, thank you, Lord. Like, I'm not doing it for that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
First of all, that's very kind of you.
Yeah.
I have a question. What do you do then when the doors and opportunities for such a great and incredibly talented community, they just continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller? Like, I do believe that I do have a role to try to be able to hear people's frustration, to be able to be to sympathize and empathize,
yes,
and to really try to do my part to try to make sure that opportunities can come to a community. What do you then say to those people who have good? What do you say to those people that have good hearts?
Yes,
but don't always get opportunities that are due to them?
That's tough and that's hard. But why are we doing it? You're in gospel music. Why are you doing it? If you're doing it for pats on your back, then switch genres. And so you're doing the right thing. And that's what I'm saying. I'm on your side, and I think you're being extraordinarily compassionate and understanding and kind. But I'm seeing this completely different. I'm seeing this as a person who's put in the work, who's trying to make opportunities for other people. You're doing everything you can, but that's not your burden. That's like buying a house for a grown person, and they mad because you only got me a 2-bedroom house. What are you talking about? Like, y'all mad because I got you a 2-bedroom? My bad. So if y'all mad at Kirk Franklin because he's trying to put all these people on and trying to open up as many opportunities as he can, and for some it's working, for some it's not, and you mad at him?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm on the other side of that. I'm on the other side of that.
I'll just be more concerned about my brother as a human being who has to, at some point, go home, and when he go to the bathroom, he's by himself.
Well, just know that I have spent. I've been in therapy. I'm 55.
Yeah,
I've been in therapy consistently since I was 28.
Oh, damn, that's 27 years.
Consistently. I mean, I am consistently. I'm in therapy at least twice a month.
That's good.
At least. I'm talking about at the lowest. It's because a lot of times we were so built in the context of my faith to just pray about it.
Yeah.
That when I got older and realized that I needed a little bit more than just pray about it, and that the faith without the works was not really giving me the motion that I needed. And then I have an incredible, strong Christian therapist, but strong PhD. So there's context there, there's gravity there.
Absolutely.
There's mind, body, and spirit. It's not just somebody's uncle that's a deacon at the church that opened up a new little counseling downstairs from 7-Eleven. No, is I really try to put the work in this because I know that I've needed a lot of help from my own abandonment and adoption and childhood trauma and all of that, and then religious trauma. Not that Christianity is traumatic, but there can be religious trauma. You know what I mean? Man-made ideals and dogma and doctrine, and so.
Are you carrying guilt as it relates to the genre of gospel music?
It sounds like you're carrying something. Right?
I have. Well, I think in general, just in general, there are times I deal with survivor's remorse. Just in general. Like I have a half-sister who didn't get adopted. Like I was adopted by an older woman, and even the adoption was traumatic because she didn't really want me, and I could feel that in the house. She tolerated me, but my sister didn't get any of that, and she lived, like the old folks say, from pillar to post. You remember that? Pillar to post. And and she spent many years in prison, many years on drugs, and so even in her life, I sometimes have survivor's remorse. I have survivor's remorse from the community that I come from because everybody didn't make it. All the homies were killed and locked up. And even sometimes in my community, I can sometimes have a little bit of that. But it does not negate the fact that there are some voices. And I'm going to keep it a buck with. There are some voices that are legitimate. I'm in a genre that does not have a lot of opportunities for all of these incredible. Listen, let me tell you something. You ask your favorite R&B singer, who's their favorite singer, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a gospel.
It's going to be a gospel artist.
It's going to be a gospel artist. So I understand.
Adams.
That's true.
Bro, Kim Moreno.
Come on.
Shit. Bro, we can go. Come on, bro.
We'll
be here all day. Dinah McClurkin, Martin. Come on, bro. Fred Hammond. We can be here all day, and you're gonna be going
Ooh, like
yes sir. And And the genre needs to be celebrated. That's why I did Kirk Franklin's Praise. That's why I'm trying to do all the things that I can do. But I just want to do everything I can because I believe in the community. I believe in the younger artists. I think there's some fire younger artists coming up, and I want them to know that even if I gotta kind of step aside or whatever it is I need to do, or not going to do it harder for you, whatever it is, I won't stop.
You're gonna do it, Miles Minnick, John Keefe. You hear this, man? I'm gonna hook y'all up with Kirk if y'all ain't did it already, man. Kirk Franklin is here, and he got a world tour, right, coming?
Well, yeah, got a world tour. Got Den of Kings. Have you seen any of the clips?
I loved it because you had Duvall. Duvall was on it too.
We had Duvall. We had Lou Young. We had DC Young Fly, Country Wayne, and the response has been incredible.
Because you got real ones up there: Country Wayne, DC Young Fly,
You
Duvall.
getting on?
I might get on,
Well, like every episode is new talent.
Okay.
It's new artists. Like we're gonna drop
I'm not new, Heather.
Yeah, you are new. Yeah, like we got a new one dropping here in a few days, and it's gonna be really special. You're gonna love the artists that we have. Den
of Kings is created. Why?
What it was? Well, first of all, I was always told that the way that I hold court at dinner has always inspired, encouraged men because I love having dinner and just talking and just getting it in. And so we just thought about creating a concept where that's something I could do. And so I wanted to create a space that people would say that men don't tune in, but men and women have tuned into this thing, and it's been incredible. It's because the women feel like that they're getting a sneak into how men feel, think, and see, and it's engaging, and it ain't Christianese, like like I ain't thought like we haven't talked. It's just dude,
regular
it's
convo.
Yeah. It's YNs, it's everything. It's like we pull up and we have conversation. Yeah,
I love it, man. Kirk Franklin is here, man, and we celebrating a new single, "Do It Again." And what you say, and I'm gonna let everybody else jump in, but some of the lyrics: life being harder than it was before, these tears we cry together, this pain it won't last forever. God is working on something for you, and that's whenever I face challenges or adversity, I tend to smile. I already know it's a test. I've been through so many of them that it's like, oh wow, this is something, and it's something for me at the end of that.
Wow,
I love that you put that in the song. I have a hard time convincing people that though.
Really?
Yeah, that this ain't happening to you; it's happening for
you.
Yeah. What words do you give folks to convince them?
Well, the first thing I say is I understand.
All right.
I think that a lot of times people want you to get into the car. They want to feel like you're not afraid to get in the car with them. A lot of times we will give direction by leaning through the window, but sometimes people feel more at peace when you say, let me show you where it's at. Jump in the car. And I think that we have a culture of humanity now where nobody jumps in the car. Everybody's going to text you the directions, but nobody wants to jump in the car. And I think that when it comes to gospel music or people that come from a faith space, we are called to jump in people's cars. We are called to take the journey with them. And I think that a lot of times, even when you just get in the car, like, as a therapist, there are a lot of times, like the reason why they call psychiatrists shrinks?
Why?
Oh, you don't know why?
No.
The reason why, because you've heard the term shrink,
I've heard
right?
the shrink. Yeah, I got to go to my shrink. Yeah.
The reason why they are called shrinks is because their job is to minimize the issue. That's what they do. Their job is to shrink. When you come in with something like this, their job is to shrink it, to minimize it, so you don't see it as life ending as big. Because when you go into your therapist, every little thing's like, I'm dying, Lord, it's over. You're just losing it. Their job is to shrink it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I've never thought about it like that.
That's good.
So a lot of times when you get in the car of life with people, sometimes you're just there to listen and just shrink it. And it's like, and people look up, it's like, oh, I arrived at my destination. I didn't die. I didn't freak out. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go get you a soda. Hold up. You'll be right back. And you good. That's the job. Because right now, everybody from from political issues, financial issues, to cultural issues, everybody feels like they are dying.
Yeah.
And we got to shrink these problems. We got to let people know you're okay. Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. And the best way to do that, I've learned, and you jump in, King, is that also the way to do it is to let them know your wounds too.
Yeah.
Because if people can see that you've been through it and you're okay, the best thing to do is that when you have cancer and when you see people that recover from cancer, that gives you encouragement. You want to be around somebody that made it through. Yeah. But a lot of times we're so busy and so prideful, we don't let people know our scars. And when you reveal your scars, it lets people know that they don't have to be ashamed of theirs.
Kirk Franklin is here. Get this man a round of applause. New single is out now. Do It Again. Den of Thieves.
Kings.
Excuse me, Den of Thieves. That's the movie.
Kirk Franklin.
Yeah. Den of Thieves. Den of Kings, my bad. Had to be. You want to
I think it's so beautiful today because I didn't realize seeing these two brothers together how much they actually have in common. I think at first we think you hear Kirk Franklin, you think artist, gospel artist, but it's therapy.
Yeah.
It's always been therapy.
Always.
We know we see David Weber. First, he's a therapist, but I know you're a man of God. And I think my question for both of you then is the balance. Like how do you balance it all? Because it's a lot. I'm a woman of God, but I'm an artist. Work at radio, television, all of these things. Sway, like I think we're looking for balance. So when you asked me today, how do you feel? I was like, I feel peaceful today because I've been working on balance.
Yes.
Just the balance. And I want to ask, as a woman hearing it from men, how do you balance?
You go first, King. I've been running my mouth.
Yeah. I think joy and happiness are different. I try to find joy every day in something. That's tough, but I try to find it every day. I'm not always happy, but I always have some form of joy. A
pocket of joy.
Yeah, some form of tangible joy. Something like, and gratitude too. Gratitude is huge for people who suffer from depression, anxiety, and those types of issues. Automatic negative thoughts, these things that come into your head, automatically negative about yourself. I'm not this, I'm not that. I wish I were taller, bigger, whatever, more degrees, more whatever.
I wish I was taller.
Dave, why you say that with Kirk right now?
I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about that.
You just triggered him right there, bro.
Balance, David. Balance, David. Balance.
Wait.
Kirk left the room, man. Come back, man.
No. I got to hop back up in the seat. I got to hop.
But like in therapy, people talk like, I wish I was, look at the muscles. I wish I was in shape. I wish I lost weight. Yeah. Or whatever it may be.
Show him, Kirk.
You know what I mean? So,
what were you saying? What were you saying?
Right. So those are negative thoughts. And so finding joy in the midst of your negative thoughts. Right, you're not gonna have happiness all the time, but finding joy is key.
Helps you balance.
No, that's super dope. It's because happiness has to do with what's happening.
Yeah,
and that's why joy is something that doesn't need the happening to be something that's sustained. And I did, and I totally dig what he said. What I learned to do in therapy is I wake up every morning and I try to say to myself, I am not perfect. Life is not perfect, and that is okay.
And that's okay.
And God does not love me any less. I try to say that every day because I'm a perfectionist, so I monitor every move I make. I judge every move I make.
Is that frustrating? Can it be?
It can be, yes. Yes, it can be daunting. It can be exhausting. It's because one thing about being an artist, you don't ever leave it at home.
Yeah.
You don't ever leave your artist. Think about it. You could be at the stoplight. A song coming at the stoplight. You can be in the middle. Listen, I was one time in the middle of the bed one night when "Take Me to the King" came to my head. You know what I mean? I had to get up in my little tidy whities and run in there. So I'm sorry about the visual. Sorry about the visual.
I wasn't sure about that, man.
Sorry about the visual. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. But that's how.
Yeah. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving.
That's how the spirit affects you.
Yeah. Like you never lay it down. So you're always carrying. Let's be candid. I do think that there is a tension that humans live in that we have to understand that there's this yin and yang. There's this dark and light that we live in. And that's why we have to accept the imperfections of life. We have to accept we're always trying to fix everything that's always broken. Some things you have to live. This is what I always say to people. It's that like I'm 55 years old and there's some things that I've tried to get over that I'm still not over.
Right.
And so what I've had to do is that I can't wait for some of these cracks to heal. I've got to learn how to win wounded.
That's a clip.
Give that a breath. Give that a breath. Yeah. You have to learn how to win wounded. I almost said shit, but Kirk.
Well, you must say it hurt my mixtape.
Oh, that's right.
My son put out on me.
Yeah, which son? Carrion? Which one? Oh, okay.
Oh, no, not both. I better not be both of them.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. That was amazing. I learned how to win wounded.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take it to let's go to New York. Tracy.
Yeah, my goodness. Kirk, love you. You are such a gift.
Love you too, Queen.
Yeah, when you just mentioned tension, and it makes me think anyone who's in the spotlight, there can be a tension between, say, your public persona and your spiritual self, right? Trying to fill in the gaps between maybe like man's approval and God's approval.
Yeah.
And there can be harmony in that, but oftentimes there is divide. And I'm wondering, since you just gave us, I wrote down like that affirmation for perfectionism, but it made me really curious to ask you, what would you say are the parts of yourself that God cherishes that the world probably doesn't see?
It's that I am ferocious. I am intentional. I am fierce in my pursuit of wanting to make him happy. Like, it is a diligent, deep pursuit. Like, when I'm not around people, I'm at the park, I'm walking by the river, I'm spending time trying to pray, trying to hear. I'm like I spend a lot of time by myself. And in that, I'm always trying to hear, trying to read, trying to pray, trying to have a conversation. And I've been like that since I was a little boy. It's because I didn't have siblings, I didn't have relatives, I didn't have cousins. Like, I lived a very lone life. It was just me and the lady that adopted me my whole life. So it was me and an older lady living in the house. All I had was a raggedy piano. That's all I had. And so this type of solitude I built. Like, I say to people that Jesus had my heart before he had my soul. So before I became born again, I was already a fan of Jesus because he was like my childhood playmate. You know, like, well, yeah, and a lot of that was because of necessity, not because I was so spiritual. It's because, you know, I needed a playmate as a little kid.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Gertrude, the lady that adopted me, she would always be in church talking about Jesus. So I'm like, okay, well, Jesus is going to be my friend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so these are the things that I think people don't really, is because I do so much crazy stuff. Sometimes people see me moving around and jumping and dancing and acting wild. They don't, a lot of times I think that the sincerity of my heart for the Lord at times can get missed. It's because, you know what I'm having to deal with, Queen? I'm having to deal with, for the first time in our society, cell phones.
Yeah.
I'm now having to deal with the fact that I'm always having to be on. And there was a big part of my career that I wasn't on. Like in the 90s, I wasn't on. No. So like when Stomp came out, you didn't know if I was crying or, you know, if I was depressed. You didn't know if I was, you know, still having problems with some type of, you know, sin or issue in my life, because there was no phone to catch Kirk.
Yeah. Right.
So now that there are phones, if I'm having fun or laughing at something, now it could be judged. If I'm having fun on stage, it's like, oh, he twerking. It was like, no, I was just having fun with one of my friends. I was acting stupid. Like, it wasn't even a good twerk. It was it was a horrible.
I didn't want to say nothing, but you know.
It wasn't even a good twerk. It wasn't even an attempt to twerk. Yeah. It was a teen twerk. It was a Kirk. It wasn't a twerk. It was a Kirk. It was a Kirk. It was a Kirk. It was
horrible.
It was not a It wasn't. I was just having fun with one of my sisters on stage because we have so much fun off stage.
Yeah, man.
You know me.
I know.
I'm a fool and funny anywhere I am. People are not used to that. People are used to their spiritual leaders being docile and, you know, very, you know, and so the image you had of me before the cell phone is that, you know, oh, he's such a, and it's like, I'm a kid. I'm young. I was young, and I'm you know,
you're still living it out, man.
Yeah. So these are the things that people don't realize, is that it is not easy growing. Can you imagine if every person had to grow in their faith with their mic on?
Man, come on.
With your
mic on?
You trying to grow in your faith, that every day your mic is on.
Yeah. Come on, man. Kirk Franklin, man. This man is human. You brought your family with you, right? Who you got here with you?
Oh, no, man. These just my people, man. That's my son over there in the corner. No, I'm being funny.
Well,
that boy too big.
No, that's because it ain't your son.
No, man. These just my people that work with me, man.
Okay.
Love.
All right.
Great
good.
kings.
I always like to acknowledge the people in the room.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, because they got a lot to do with the person on the mic.
That's right.
Right?
That's
and
right.
so...
shout out to Brandon, man. That's my boy. That's my hero right there.
Man, how much you bench pressing now, bro? It look like you got a little more swole, dog. Pause, but you know what I mean.
You know, I can't hear you. What did you say?
How much you bench pressing now?
My mic is not working well. What? Hold on.
Kirk, I can see the growth, man. Like I can see the work, you know.
Oh, man, just glory to God, brother. Just glory. I'll give you the church answer. Oh, just glory to God, brother. The church, that's some church.
I don't think he can bench press 300 pounds, man. All right, Mike Muse, you want to jump in?
That's my guy right there, boy.
Muse,
That's my guy right there.
Do you follow him on Instagram?
No.
You got to follow him on Instagram, Kirk.
Really? Why?
But you would have saw him in Saint-Tropez last week.
That's the homie.
You would have saw him in a tribal ceremony celebrating food.
Did you have like the little speedos on? Like, did you do
that,
something?
Mike?
Like, were you down there? Were you down there showing out?
Oh, I was definitely dancing on tables, but not in speedos.
Right. Go ahead, Mike Muse.
Kirk, it's always good to see you, brother. It always makes me
King.
smile. Always enjoy our conversations. I love the new single, Do It Again, but just a point of personal reference, Bless Me still has me in a chokehold. So with Maverick City, the one that you did, but just FYI. The question I have for you, though, is I'm curious, and I've been thinking about you in the sense of what is your thoughts on the state and brand of Christianity, in particular as we look at what's happening with the evangelicals church engagement with politics, as you look at the membership decreasing in churches on Sundays, and if you look at the lack of or possibly in the engagement, what civil rights and what the black church used to be in the role that it had. And so I'm just curious from you, like, what is the state of Christianity right now and the brand of Christianity? Is it taking a hit?
Well, you know that I love those questions, and I think you know me well enough to know that I don't shy away from those questions. I'm very intentional. First thing I want to do is I want to celebrate. There are some new voices that on the horizon that are incredible. Philip Anthony Mitchell, Darius Daniels, oh man, what's the guy that just spoke in my church? Mason. There's a guy named Eric Mason. There's some great voices. Charlie Dates out of Chicago. There's some young voices that are doing it. They are killing it, and they are intentional. And so I believe that Scripture is true, that God will never leave himself without a witness, the text says. And I think that a lot of the falling off can also be good because it also lets you know who the real ones are. It lets you know who the real soldiers are, because a lot of times the spectators can kind of get in the way of the real voice getting in the ears and in the hands and the hearts of those that are really wanting to put their lives on the line. And so I am extremely disappointed with a white nationalism that is birthed out of the evangelical community in America. I think that we have to also address those issues, because if not, it comes across very duplicitous. That the origin and the history of Western Christianity in America has not been always the most beneficial for people of color, and I think that we continue to live in that tension that the weapon that damaged us is now the redemption that saves us. And so we have to be honest about that. We have to deconstruct it at times. But I still believe that the message, I still believe in the beautification of the church. Think about it. The church in history is what birthed hospitals. The church is what also birthed universities in America. A lot of the philanthropy that came into HBCUs and those communities were coming out of men and women that were in the space of faith. So we see the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement in America was birthed out of the church. So we've seen the church do some incredible work, while at the same time there has been a lot of challenges and spaces that need to be addressed. But I still believe in her message. I still believe in her heart. And I still believe that the good news is available for anyone that will choose to get through all the BS, all the dogma, all the doctrine. We must acknowledge our mistakes. We must address the sins of Western Christianity, and to realize one important space: Western Christianity and the teachings of Jesus Christ are not synonymous.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Western Christianity and the teachings of Jesus Christ. I'm talking about the Middle Eastern Jesus, not the one that look like the Bee Gees.
Yeah, okay, not that, okay.
Yeah, not the one that look like Barry Gibb. Not the one that look like Barry Gibb. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of leave that alone. So yeah, but the teachings of Jesus Christ and Western Christianity, they are not synonymous.
So when did you realize that? Realize Jesus Christ wasn't this blonde, blue-eyed portrait that we tend to see?
Scholarship. When I started to pursue academia, when I started to bring intellect and understanding into my Christian faith, what started happening about 20 years ago, my Christian faith started to be tested very much outside of the church, because a lot of times when you're raised in church, everything about church is right. Everything you hear, you just lean into, even when you don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, when I started to live more outside of that space, and there was a lot of historical challenges, there was a lot of context challenges that I could not answer. It started this journey for me to bring a lot of intellectual, historical, and archaeological understanding about the historical truth of the historical Jesus that brought more gravity to my faith.
Yeah.
Is that Europe did not influence Africa. Africa influenced Europe.
Yeah.
And this is 3 centuries before Constantine. And so these are the things that gave me gravity to be, okay, well, I can put my hope in this. This is not the weaponized version that Western Christianity taught me, but the historical truth is that Augustine and Tertullian, these were and Alexander, these were men of color.
Yes.
That the first church was in Alexander, Mark's church was in North Africa. That the disciple Mark started his church in North Africa. That's not Europe, that's Africa. And so these truths, but at the same time, let's not also get it twisted. This gospel is for everybody.
It's for everybody, right?
It's for everybody. Everybody can pull up. We just realized that the way we were taught to hate ourselves was the lie. That we were the architects of even the faith that we believe. That's why we believe it so much, because we were in it.
Yeah. Man, Kirk Franklin, man. Get this man a round of applause. Yes.
So it's
yes. Mike.
Kirk,
my bad.
That's okay. Kirk, if I can go back and follow up with you with that part that you talked about. So I like where you were going when you said the Jesus of that time period is different than, it's not synonymous with Western Christianity. Are you talking about the dogma and how the church has created dogmatic dynamics to the original teachings of Jesus? Is that what you are saying?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Even when you look at theology, and when you look at doctrine is nothing but man's systems of trying to be able to communicate and articulate the text. When you look at canon of scripture, and when you look at the early fathers of the faith, they were creating doctrines and dogmas, but a lot of these doctrines and dogmas also had to do with control. They were trying to control the habits and the ways and the executions of human behavior. Whether it's sexuality, whether it was giving, whether it was trying to have these monotheistic ideals, or trying to make monotheistic ideals monolithic. And so when you look at all of the origins of controlling humankind, it came from dogma, it came from doctrine, where when you look at the teachings of Jesus Christ, and when you look at the heart of the matter of the Gospels, it is about, if you're sick and if you're hurting, there's no way that I can be well when my brother's still sick and hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for you to see, let me say it like this. If every church in America during segregation would have said that slavery is a sin, slavery would have never existed in America.
Yeah.
Slavery could have never existed in America if every Bible reading, I don't know what Bible they were reading, I don't know what Bible they were using, but if every Bible-believing church during the 19th, 18th century would have collectively said that slavery is a sin, slavery would have never existed in America. Because chattel slavery, I'm not talking about historical, because we know that in Egypt there were different forms of slavery where you could pay your way out. But I'm talking about this thing that disrupted and dismantled humans from their family, from their thinking, from their well-being, from their mental health.
Yeah.
That if we would have collectively, if Christians collectively would have said slavery is a sin, it would have never existed in America. Because that's how much power the church had in Western America.
Kirk Franklin, citizens. This has seemed like a conversation. I love where this just went. Thank you, Kirk Franklin. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
How much you bench pressing, though, bro?
Wow, you back to that?
Tell me.
This jealousy
All right.
leaning on.
Kirk cut up right now.
Is I bench press the devil.
He on fire today.
Bars, son.
He walked out. He walked out the room. Ow. Oh, my God, man. I love my brother. Thank you,
Yes.
Kirk Franklin, for coming by. David Weber.
No doubt. Thank you.